There's a war happening, not on a battlefield, not with tanks or guns, but inside you. Every morning you open your eyes, the war begins again. A war between the version of you that's destined to rise and the one that's been programmed to remain small. And the enemy? It's not out there. It's not your boss, not your past, not the people who doubted you. The enemy is the whisper in your mind that says, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I'm just average. That whisper is a lie, but it's a familiar lie. And it wraps itself around your spine until your back hunches from the weight of pretending to be less than what you are. You see, confidence isn't something you're born with. It's not some mystical gift handed out to the chosen few. It's not charisma. It's not arrogance. It's not faking it until you make it. It's a weapon, forged in silence, sharpened by failure, and carried by those who are willing to bleed for it. You don't build unshakable confidence once and keep it forever. You build it daily. You construct it with calloused hands and tired eyes, with decisions that no one celebrates and disciplines that no one sees. The world has convinced you to look outward, to chase validation, to rely on praise. But what happens when there's no applause? What happens when you walk alone, and your reflection is the only voice you hear? That's when the truth reveals itself. Confidence is not how loud you speak. It's how calmly you move through fire. It's not how many people cheer you on. It's how little their noise affects you. It's not the absence of fear. It's the presence of will in the face of it. So the question isn't, how do I feel confident? The question is, are you ready to do what it takes to become someone who cannot be shaken? Because if you are, then we begin now. This is how warriors build confidence. Not through hype, not through hope, but through hell. One day at a time. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Win the war within, before the world ever sees you. Before the first word leaves your lips, before you take a single step in the world, your confidence is already decided. Because the real battle isn't fought in the public eye. It's waged in the invisible realm, inside your mind, inside your habits, inside your silence. People chase external victories, status, validation, attention. But those are nothing more than shadows of the real win, mastery of self. Understand this. You cannot command respect in the world if your own mind refuses to follow your lead. You can dress like a lion, walk like a king, even bark like you run the room. But if your spirit flinches when no one's looking, the world will feel it. Because confidence is not broadcast through words. It's leaked through presence. And presence is built privately. So what does it mean to win the war within? It means waking up and facing the resistance immediately. Not scrolling, not hesitating, but executing. It means knowing there are two versions of you. The one who acts in alignment with your mission, and the one who justifies your stagnation. And whichever one you feed in the morning, that's who commands your day. Confidence is a consequence, a byproduct. It's not something you try to feel. It's something that happens when you consistently dominate the small wars. Wake up early when your body begs to sleep. That's a win. Keep your promises when no one is watching. That's another. Shut down distractions when the world tempts you to escape your path. That's another. Every one of these unseen victories becomes a brick in your mental fortress. And you must treat them with the same gravity as a life or death decision. Because in the long run, they are. You think confidence is about appearance? About being loud? No. True confidence is when you look at yourself after enduring failure, rejection, chaos, and you still know, I am exactly who I said I would become. No second guessing, no mask, no apologies. But here's the trap. Your inner enemy isn't loud. It doesn't attack with bombs. It kills with delay. It whispers, just hit snooze. Skip today, you'll start again tomorrow. Be realistic. That voice is death in disguise. It's there to rob you of the muscle required to stand unshaken. And every time you give in, you give it power. You teach your subconscious that weakness is acceptable, that surrender is normal. And soon, your identity follows. But the opposite is also true. Every time you override comfort, you plant seeds of dominance. Every time you do what's hard on purpose, you rewire your nervous system to believe, I am dangerous, I am disciplined, I am built for this. This is why the first hour of your day matters so much. Because it's your daily initiation, your silent war zone, and the one who wins there wins everywhere. So if you want to build unshakable confidence, stop looking outside yourself. The mirror is the battlefield. Your mind is the general, and your actions are the warriors. Win that war before the world even sees you, and you'll never have to convince anyone of your worth again. They'll feel it before you speak a word. Lesson 2. Create your identity by design, not default. Look around. Most people are walking masks, living on autopilot, shaped by circumstance, defined by labels they never agreed to. They don't know who they are. They've never decided. They were told who to be, and they complied. But you're not here to comply. You're here to create. And unshakable confidence is born the moment you stop being a passenger of your identity and become its architect. Because here's the truth no one wants to admit. You are always becoming someone. The question is, are you becoming that person on purpose or by accident? Confidence without identity is smoke. No foundation, no direction. You cannot stand strong if you don't even know who's doing the standing. So you must decide, not hope, not guess. Decide who you are, down to the bone. And that decision must be so precise, so absolute, that the world cannot bend it, failure cannot stain it, and time cannot rot it. You are not a product of your past. You are not the result of your mistakes. You are not your trauma, your setbacks, your fears. You are the writer of your story, but only if you take the pen out of the world's hands. Start with this. Who would you be if you weren't afraid? What time would you wake up? What habits would you have? How would you speak, walk, train, eat, live, breathe? What would your standards be? And what would you no longer tolerate? You build confidence not by acting out your current self, but by stepping into your designed self. And the moment you commit to living as that version, even before the results show up, you are no longer living in reaction. You are leading. Most people think they need evidence before belief, but that's backward. Confidence is not the result of achievement. Confidence is the fuel that drives achievement. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll be waiting until death. But if you assume the identity of the confident version of you, right now, and back it with ruthless action, you will become it. The mind doesn't care whether a belief is real. It only cares how often it's repeated. And once you start showing up as the version of you that you designed, your subconscious starts rearranging reality around it. Your energy shifts. Your posture shifts. Your decisions sharpen. And the world responds to your frequency. But make no mistake, designing your identity is warfare. Because the old version of you, the weaker version, it will scream, it will beg, it will sabotage. Because it knows that if you ever truly become who you were meant to be, it dies. And so every day, you must bury the weaker self. With every decision, with every action, with every refusal to go backward. The mind is programmable. You are the programmer. Confidence is the signal. Identity is the code. Design it with precision. Live it with aggression. And one day, the world will look at you and ask, who the hell is that? But by then, it will be too late. You'll already have become unbreakable. Lesson 3. Rejection is the ritual. Pain is the price. Everyone wants confidence, but no one wants to suffer for it. No one wants the rejection. No one wants the awkward silence, the failure, the you're not good enough. But here's the harsh truth. Confidence without pain is counterfeit. It's easy to feel powerful in controlled environments, to puff your chest in the mirror, to rehearse lines in your head when no one's there to test them. But real, unshakable confidence is built in the arena, where your voice cracks, where your hands tremble, where your ideas get mocked, your spirit gets bruised, and your pride gets burned to the ground. You want to build a bulletproof self? You must walk into fire and stay there. Because every rejection, every failure, is a ritual of refinement, not punishment. Initiation. Most people treat pain like poison. They avoid it, flinch from it, run from it. But warriors, we drink it like medicine. We know that every scar tells a story. Every rejection is a new layer of armor. You see, pain is a forge. And every time you step into it willingly, every time you pursue what others avoid, you gain something no shortcut can give you. Self-certainty. Because when you survive pain and keep moving, something rewires in your mind. I can handle this. I've been through worse. I'll walk through worse and still stand tall. You no longer fear failure. You no longer need comfort. You become untouchable. But let's make something clear. The pain doesn't just disappear. You just stop giving it the power to define you. You transmute it. You flip it. You stare into it until it becomes your fuel. The rejection that once humiliated you becomes the push that wakes you up at 5 a.m. The failure that once broke your identity becomes the framework for your discipline. The criticism that once made you shrink becomes a reminder that they see your potential, even if they fear it. The same fire that burns most people to ash. You learn to breathe it in. And that is the difference between the weak and the weaponized. Want to test your confidence? Try standing in front of someone who doesn't believe in you and not needing them to. Try putting your work into the world and watching it get ignored, then doing it again and again and again until they have no choice but to see you. Try hearing no and replying with, good. Now watch me. Because once you realize rejection doesn't break you, you stop fearing people. You stop seeking permission. You stop negotiating with your potential. And in that moment, you become something most never will. Free. Here's the cold truth. No one is coming to hand you confidence. No one's going to clap for you on the way up. You will face doors slammed in your face. You will face betrayal, loss, embarrassment. But each time it happens, you get to make a decision. Collapse, or carve your name into the stone. Rejection is the cost of power. Pain is the gate to greatness. Walk through it like a warrior. Face it like it's your training ground. Because it is. And the one who suffers on purpose without losing their vision, without losing their fire, without losing themselves, that one becomes unstoppable. You want to build unshakable confidence? Then bleed, stand, and rise again, and again, and again, until the storm bows to you. Lesson 4. Speak to yourself like a warrior, not a victim. Let's be honest. Most people lose the war before the first punch is thrown. Not because they're weak, but because they've been trained to speak to themselves like they are. The world may lie to you, but the most dangerous lies are the ones you tell yourself. You can wear confidence like a mask, but your internal dialogue will always reveal the truth. So I have one question. What does your inner voice sound like when no one's around? Does it speak with strength or hesitation? Does it command or does it plead? Does it say, "We've got this"? Or does it whisper, "What if we fail again?" Because here's the brutal reality. Your inner voice is either a general or a saboteur, and the tone it uses becomes your fate. Most people talk to themselves like prisoners, trapped in loops of shame, guilt, fear, and doubt. They wake up and start the day with, "Why am I like this? Why can't I be better? What if I mess up again?" And they wonder why the day feels heavy, why everything seems stacked against them, why confidence never sticks. But you must understand, your words shape your identity. Your thoughts carve your self-image. Your internal dialogue is the blueprint of your destiny. Confidence isn't built through motivation. It's built through programming. And you are the programmer. So speak accordingly. You must begin to speak to yourself the same way you would command an army. With purpose, with force, with absolute clarity. When fear rises, you don't entertain it. You confront it. You say, "I've trained for this. This fear is fuel. I am not here to shrink. I am here to dominate." You replace every weak internal phrase with one that cuts through fog like a blade. Because repetition is ritual, and every time you speak strength into yourself, you are rewiring your subconscious to believe it. Your brain doesn't know the difference between truth and repetition. It just listens to what's consistent. So what do you think happens if every day you speak to yourself with command, with discipline, with unwavering direction? You start to move differently. You start to walk in alignment with who you say you are. And soon, your identity catches up. But let's be clear. This isn't about delusion. It's about dominion. You're not lying to yourself. You're giving yourself orders. You're taking control of the conversation before the weaker voice has a chance to infect your energy. That voice, the one that doubts, the one that fears, isn't yours. It's inherited. It's a parasite, born from old failures, childhood wounds, and cultural programming. And every time you let it speak without challenge, you surrender your mind to the enemy, inside your own gates. But when you answer that voice with clarity, "No, I know who I am now. No, I don't run from pressure. I create under it. No, I don't need perfect conditions. I bring the fire with me." Then, and only then, do you step into your true nature. You speak like a warrior, because you are one. Confidence is not feeling good. Confidence is knowing that no matter what the world throws at you, you will not betray yourself. And that knowing is built word by word, thought by thought, command by command. So the next time you hear that soft voice whisper weakness into your mind, don't argue, don't explain, override it. Replace it with orders. You are not here to beg for belief. You are here to declare your direction. And soon, your mind will obey. Your body will follow. And your presence will carry the weight of someone who no longer needs to prove anything. You'll speak with less because you believe more. Lesson 5. Rituals over motivation. Identity over emotion. Here's the bitter truth no one wants to hear. Motivation is weak. It's soft, fleeting. It disappears when you need it most. In the cold, in the chaos, in the quiet moments when no one is watching. And if your confidence is built on how you feel, then your entire foundation is built on sand. Motivation is emotional weather. It changes with mood. But rituals are war plans. They don't care if it's sunny or storming. They don't need your mood to cooperate. They execute, regardless. If you're serious about building unshakable confidence, stop chasing inspiration. Start building rituals. Because discipline is the only form of self-respect that doesn't lie. Let's make it clear. The most dangerous version of you isn't the one who's excited. It's the one who moves without needing to be. It's the version that executes while others hesitate. That trains while others doubt. That builds while others binge. That's the version you create through daily ritual. When your identity becomes tethered to action, not emotion, you start to transcend the battlefield. You're no longer a pawn of your feelings. You become a commander of reality. That's what confidence is. Not a feeling, a pattern. Ask yourself, what are the actions that the strongest, most confident version of you takes every single day? What time do they wake up? What do they eat? How do they train? What do they consume mentally? What do they tolerate? Write that down. Then build it into a ritual system that becomes so sacred, so embedded, that it doesn't matter if you're tired, heartbroken, or angry. You still show up. Because the strongest form of confidence is the quiet certainty that you are living in alignment with the identity you designed. Not the one life handed you. Not the one trauma taught you. But the one you chose. Here's where most people fail. They keep waiting to feel ready, to be in the right mood, to find the perfect moment. But confidence doesn't wait. Confidence is built through fire and repetition. It's a momentum engine. And it either compounds toward power or rusts into mediocrity. Every time you show up without motivation, you're building something deeper than hype. You're creating a baseline of performance that no emotion can derail. And when you reach that point, you're not just confident, you're inevitable. Because the world can't predict you. But you know your next move before dawn breaks. You don't need to decide. You already decided. And that is terrifying to those who still live on emotion. Let me be even clearer. You cannot think your way into confidence. You must act your way into alignment. You must stop being a responder to life and start becoming a producer of your own momentum. Rituals anchor you. They hold you steady through heartbreak, humiliation, and rejection. They turn chaos into clarity. They make you the storm. You build your rituals. Then your rituals build your reality. And your reality becomes your identity. So if you want confidence, stop begging for it. Earn it through repetition. Carve it into your nervous system. Hardwire it into your behavior. Because once you act like the warrior, every day, without compromise, you become one. Not because you faked it, but because you forged it. Final note: discipline without emotion, identity without compromise, ritual without exception. That's how you build unshakable confidence, not in bursts, but brick by bloody brick. When you're tired, you execute. When you're broken, you execute. When your mind screams to stop, you execute louder. Because your rituals are no longer negotiable. They are sacred. They are war. And every day you complete them, you move one step closer to the most dangerous version of yourself. The version no one can shake, no matter what they throw at you. If you made it this far, you already know. This world wasn't built for the strong. It was built to contain them, to tame them, to lull them into submission with comfort, distraction, and empty praise. But you're not here to be tamed. You're not here to blend in. You're here to become something unbreakable, something forged in fire, something the world no longer recognizes, but cannot ignore. To the returning GrimFace warriors, you've already felt the weight of this path. You've bled for it. You've sacrificed for it. You've risen through storms most would never survive. And still, you continue. This movement lives because of you. This message spreads because you carry it. And to those standing at the threshold for the first time, if this awakened something inside you, a buried rage, a dormant power, a silent hunger, then welcome. You found the black sheep army, the outsiders who chose honor over ease, discipline over dopamine, fire over fantasy. We don't beg for strength. We build it. Daily, ruthlessly, silently. If this hit you like a prophecy instead of a video, then subscribe now. Lock in. Because what's coming next is not for the faint-hearted. We are building a world within this world, a legion of elite minds and unshakable souls. This is GrimFace, and we are just getting started. March forward, train harder, speak less, execute more, and rise until the storm fears you.